Look, Bernard. Bernard. Look. Look.
Bernard. Bernard. Bernard.
Look. It's a Rover Mini 1275 from the 90s with an automatic gearbox. Rada! Nope, it's not mine. It's a very good friend of the channel called Klaus who owns it. He asked me to fix some minor rust and also a rumbling wheel bearing. I will do that later on, but today I want to take it for a test drive and show it to you guys because this is quite interesting. To be honest, I didn't even know they made the Mini with an automatic, but there was a lot of cars with automatics, but it's just such a weird thing in a Mini. Especially since the first thing, one thing is this is a car from the 90s and you don't have to pull anything in the car. You can just open the hatch out here. I love it. I love it how they didn't really change much on the Mini, even though they just continued to make them all the way to 2000s, I think. But the really impressive thing about the automatic is, it's impressive to fit an automatic in the engine bay that is already quite cramped from the get-go back in the 60s or 50s or whenever these came out. It's even more impressive in the 90s because they started to get more and more complicated. Some of them had air conditioning, some of them had, this one got a brake booster, for instance. This is one of the early ones, so it's still a carved car with a catalytic converter. But the really impressive thing, and unfortunately I cannot tell you much about how it works because I don't know, but on all Minis the oil is shared with the gearbox, and it's the same case on the automatic gearbox. It's sharing the engine oil inside the automatic gearbox. And I was always told that automatic transmission oil needs to be very clean, needs to be red, and if it's slightly black, everything is going to pieces. Yeah, it's just quite impressive. I have had a Mini on the channel a while back. I found a barn find Mini that I fixed up and MOT'd and drove and sold as always. And I can remember from working on that, it's not that bad to work on them. There is okay space for stuff down there when you remove all the plastic bits. But it was very difficult to film much because it's so hard to see anything. Especially, it could be fun to take a closer look at the gearbox, but it's quite difficult. But you can see it's different from the normal Minis, from the bell housing thing down there. It's just going, the crankshaft is just going out that way and then coupled together with the transmission, with a chain maybe, I don't even know, and then goes back in. It's really interesting. Anyway, this is a really cared for example of a Mini. Of course, it's been rebuilt already, even though it's from the early 90s. These rust like crazy. So this has been rebuilt, and I have just fixed some very minor rust. Klaus is really taking care of it. So when he found some rust, he acted on it quickly and asked me to help him. And then on the way down, the wheel bearing started to make noise, so I'm going to fix that also. But take a look at the condition of this car. It looks awesome, and especially the wheels are fitting it nicely. The arches are really nice, and it got a trailer hitch, which is pretty awesome, and it can actually pull impressive amount of weight. I can't remember exactly, I might write it right here, but it's pretty nice. It got a second brake light. It got a sticker that is slightly crooked. It's probably not very easy to put that on from the back side on the window. And then we have the tiny boot space. This is probably one of the best upgrades from going from the Mini to the Metro, that the hatch actually opens. It would have been a lot more usable if the hatch went up like that, like my Abarth, for instance. It's not very usable with the small luggage compartment, but anyway. Oh, and the absolutely best part of this car is, of course, Seaside Garage. I actually met Klaus randomly at a car show and saw the car afterwards and saw the sticker on the parking spot and got very proud about that. But another weird thing about this is that one thing is the seat is missing currently because I didn't put it in after doing the rust fixes. And I'm not going to put it in because it will make it a lot easier to film. So I'm going to put it in later. But the steering wheel is of course supposed to be here in my country. but it isn't. It's over there because this is as it was designed from England and imported to Denmark. So it's a right-hand drive. Normally that's not very nice in my country, but being a Mini, it's so small, it doesn't really matter where you sit in the car. You can see the road pretty well. And being a automatic makes it even more easy because my left hand is not really able to do anything. So changing gears with the left hand is very difficult. I guess that the English people has better motoric skills in their left hand because of the, the seating position. But yeah, this is a proper cool car. And I'm going to take it for a test drive now to pinpoint the bearing noise and see if there's anything else that comes to mind. And I'm going to take you guys along because it's going to be fun. Oh, and you join me on the road in the Mini automatic. And it's so much fun to be back in the Mini. Slightly different experience, not only because of the automatic transmission, which is a lot different, but also because of the seating position in the right side of the road, which is a bit weird, but it doesn't matter when the car is this small. Straight away I can hear the bearing. It sounds like the front right. It's on its way. It is already out, let's say. So I'm not going to take it for a too long test drive. I don't want to damage anything, but the bearing is of course toast. A quick test drive would be nice. If I can get past these bikes. It's changing gear pretty decently, and it's of course not making the Mini faster, but it's still getting up and going pretty quickly. That's where the kick down was. It's going pretty well. It's a lot of fun. But it is fun to drive a Mini again, and it's so nimble. I always talk about how I like my 98-112 better than Minis, but this Mini is a lot of fun also. The thing is, the Abarth is more comfortable. The Mini is not very comfortable, but it's very predictable and very fun to toss around in the corners. That's for sure, because it's so go-kart-like. It's really nice to have such a small car with automatic. I would probably get bored quite quickly because I really like changing gears. I like being part of the mechanical side of things, but this is just so interesting that a Mini got an automatic transmission, and it's so interesting that it shares the oil with the engine. I think it's wonderful, and it also just works fine. Changes down pretty quickly, and yeah, this is a nice car. I can understand why Klaus treasures this car so much. He loves it, and it shows. It really shows. Whenever I drive a Mini, and it would probably drive me mad if I did it daily, but I cannot get the soundtrack from the Italian Job out of my head when I drive a Mini. It's just all the time. It's just so much fun. I'm not gonna go crazy in a car that I don't own, but let's just try to go a bit briskly to 80 kilometers an hour per hour, which is the speed limit. So let's see. That's about there. It took a while. A lot of fun. bit surprised that I like it this much being an automatic, because I tend to always look a little bit down on sporty cars with automatic transmission because it ruins the experience. Not in this one, it actually gives it a bit of that, not go-kart feel, but radio controlled like car. It's just, you just have to steer the little thing and then do the rest of the work for you, so you can enjoy just flinging it about in the corners. This little Motolita steering wheel is just perfect fine. Anyway, thanks for watching. Remember, you can support me on Patreon if you like. And see you in the next one.